Phil have been dating for 16 years. 16 years.
I just wanted to say that we just got home last night very late at dark.
Yeah. So
we've been living in our bus. So we have a lot to unpack.
But we also have a lot to unpack about the fact that Dan and Phil have been dating for 16 years. So we're going to unpack all of these things together. We're going to unpack the bus. We're going to unpack our feelings, our emotional feelings. I'm sure we're all feeling very high. Emotions are running really high right now.
Not everyone watches Dan and Phil. Not everyone is as emotionally connected to these two British gay men from the internet as the two of us are.
But we are very emotionally connected. And I was telling Chloe the other day, it almost kind of feels like our wedding. Like it feels like a crazy thing just happened. It's so amazing. Everyone's talking about it. And then afterwards, we're just getting all these gifts. We're just opening gifts, right? So like, we're getting that picture. Sorry, I'm okay. That picture with his arm around him. We're getting a podcast. We're getting
a day in the life.
Or maybe we're getting a day in the life. We're on Tumblr. We're all on Tumblr, right? We're all freaking out. It's amazing. Chloe's more of a Tumblr. I almost called you Tumblr. Chloe's more of the Tumblerer than I am, but we're
actually called Tumblerinas.
Oh, Chloe's a Tumblerina.
I'm not. That's true.
But it's been great being on there right now, just having the time of our life. This is our cat. If you don't know us, Chloe, do the intro.
Hi, my name's Chloe, and this is my lovely wife, Natalie, and this is Beverly, our cat. And today we are going to unpack all of the things that we take into our tiny bus and also talk to you about Dan and Phil, because did you know that like a lot of the comments on our previous video that had nothing to do with Dan and Phil.
People went back to our previous video to check in on us about Dan and Phil,
yeah,
because they know
how many comments do you think we got?
I think only like 3 or 5. But I've
that's
also
a lot for us because we don't have that many comments.
Yeah, not many people watch us. We also have people DM us on Instagram, checking in, making sure we're doing all right.
Commenting on our original coming out story video, which...
Making sure we're doing all right. We are doing so well.
Because we actually talk about Dan and Phil kind of extensively in that video, and if you want to, here's a little clip of us talking about Dan and Phil in that video.
And then I have in the timeline, I introduced you to Dan and Phil, and Dan and Phil play a really big part in our relationship, and you need to know.
In case anyone watching this doesn't know who Dan and Phil are, they are these two British YouTubers. They're best friends who live together. They're in their late 20s. Maybe Phil was in his early 30s at this point, I don't know. Natalie identified them. When she presented them to me, she was like, Chloe, these people are like us. And if you want to see that video, you can watch it over...
Here, I think. Oh, no, it would be here.
Over here.
Yeah,
click there. Should I put this cat down?
Yeah, put the cat down. But this is our little family. We are family.
Do you want to see a photograph that I took when we were cuddling like 2 mornings ago on the bus? All 3 of us. It was pretty cute.
I think that was yesterday morning.
Oh my gosh, just how quickly you can go from being in the middle of the forest to back in my basement. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. So we're unpacking.
Well, you can see. Look at this. Look at what we're doing in the kitchen over here.
This box is gonna trick me. What day was it when they released that video?
I don't know.
It was a day. It was a weekday. It was a weekday, right?
It was Monday. It was Monday.
It was Monday. It was Monday. Okay. A week tomorrow when you're watching this, and we were in our bus, right? And we had access to Wi-Fi, but only sometimes because we don't have enough power to run our Wi-Fi. So we turn our Wi-Fi on and we see a video, right? It says, we are in a relationship. They've said this before.
I know.
Clickbaiters.
Let's look at the clickbait titles of the past.
Clickbaiters, the lot of them. They've done this to us before, okay? We keep coming back because we don't care. I'm
just excited to see whatever video they posted.
It's 40-something minutes long, and we all know when they post 40-something minutes long thing, it's actually a big deal. It was such a good video.
It was. And the thing about the video is, what was I making? I was making a veggie roast. It was Canadian Thanksgiving. Thank you, Dan and Phil, for supporting Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yes. We were feasting on that video. Yeah, anyway, sorry.
So, we were roasting vegetables in our little oven.
Oh.
And the timer kept going off, and I had to keep getting up out of that video.
Cooked.
The beets were crunchy.
So,
and I was the one. Natalie had Beverly on her lap.
I couldn't move.
And I had to keep pausing the video and checking on the beats.
Stop watching it to see how our vegetables were.
And then, near the end, I was like, okay, they need 10 more minutes. There were 16 minutes left on the video, and I said,
we're just going to cook the beets.
There's going to be 60 minutes.
For 16 more minutes.
And look at the beautiful veggie roast we made. So that's it was ending.
Great. And anyway, so we watched the video in our little bus while we cooked Thanksgiving dinner.
I think that this was probably a dramatic reenactment of my face the whole time watching the video. I think that the haters or the less informed will say, didn't we already know this?
Yes.
Didn't Daniel Howell in the year 2019 in the video, Basically I'm Gay, say we were more than just romantic?
Yeah.
We were actual soulmates.
Yes.
Didn't he say that?
Didn't he say that? He did.
But then, you, casual viewer and or internet user who does not watch these videos in the same way that we do, you do not see them posting videos where they play like a two-player partner's romantic game and they cannot call each other boyfriend.
Or partner, or they say friend.
They say friend, and it feels weird.
And the
energy is rank.
And I'm like, what's going on? What's happening? Okay, so they're friends. And then I'm the type of person who never assumes. We're not unpacking at all. Let's just unpack one thing. I'm the type of person who never assumes anything. I always think people are telling the truth when clearly they haven't been. So I'm like, well, maybe it's more complicated. We can't really look into things. We should just accept that they're friends and more than friends. It could be complicated. We don't need to know.
Well, Natalie was a big believer of maybe they're
straight.
No. Listen, this is,
we're going
circa are we talking
Sorry. Yeah. So I was a big believer in, like, maybe it's, like, a queer platonic relationship, and it's hard to explain, and we have no right to ask them to explain.
Or maybe it's, like, some sort of partnership that's kind of open. Maybe there's a lot of nuance that they're like, I literally could not explain this to the internet.
So I was like, it's probably more complicated and we can just leave it at that. They're friends. You know? They say they're friends, they're friends. I'm going to believe them. I always believe people.
Natalie's been believing them for a long time.
I know. So when they were saying that they were straight, I was like, they say they're straight, Chloe. What are you on about? But Chloe's was on Tumblr.
Well, Dan and Phil convinced me to join Tumblr. I was watching a Dan Howell video, circa Dan is Not on Fire, and he was talking about Tumblr and fandom and stuff, and I was like, okay, get me a piece of this. Let me go on Tumblr. And yeah, it took me 3 minutes to be convinced that they are actually gay and in love.
So
I'm not saying that environment was particularly healthy. I mean, we were listening to Dan and Phil tell us that it was pretty toxic up in there, but I did take it in. I read the receipts, I looked at the evidence, and I said, yep, they're gay. I don't know why they're lying. Probably all of the reasons that they claimed. Well, I didn't know about Dan's trauma.
So then Chloe comes to me and says, you know they're gay. And I was like, no, they're not. Dan likes vagina. He said it right here. And I was like, and they talk about dating girls, so they can't be gay. That's, like, probably not true. Chloe comes to me and she's like, no, listen to me. They are. And I'm like, okay, sure, show me all this. So she, like, you know, goes through everything that they talked about in their video. Fan proof.
I'm pulling up the form spring. I'm pulling up
and
the daily booths.
I, like, shut down at you. I'm like, if this is true, Chloe, it is like they are hiding it for a reason, and maybe anything could be true, and we just have to believe what they are telling us now because that's the only thing we know for certain. And Chloe's like, they're lying, but they're lying. But I never believe that people are lying, and that's the difference between Chloe and I. I think everyone's telling the truth. Chloe thinks everyone's lying. In this particular minute case, Chloe was right.
People are always lying. There's always an angle. They're always lying.
In this particular instance, Chloe was right about this, but usually I'm right. Usually people aren't lying, and if they are lying, it's not our responsibility to catch them in it. It's their fault, really.
Also, it's trickier with coming out because is it really lying to be closeted? Sometimes you need to do that to like protect yourself, you know. But anyway,
sure.
at this era, I'm but a young pup.
You're a young pup?
I'm young and I don't know any better. So this is my formal apology to Dan and Phil for digging around in your business and putting my nose where it had no right to be, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it was pretty easy to dig around in their business just because of how many people were doing it and making it really easy.
You go onto Tumblr.com, oh boy, the business is all there. You find like one fan timeline doc on Tumblr, you open that up, you learn all the lore, you know it, it's there. I think I want to pull out a couple lines from that video.
I do too. I have a couple things to say.
Okay, there was this one, and I'm going to clip it here because I don't think I'm going to say it perfectly right.
We have lived 1,000 lifetimes of a normal person's partnership.
And I know that Natalie and I have only been together like 3.5 years, which has nothing on 16, but we were best friends before that.
And
for a very long time.
We lived together and we would spend as much time possible.
We had the same university schedule.
Yeah.
We
did that on purpose because we wanted to spend as much time as possible together.
We have spent many more years together than just 3, based on like the average couple who have 9-to-5 jobs that are in different locations.
And we try to have jobs where we can work together.
Have separate friends and go on separate vacations sometimes, you know?
I would never do that. And we definitely don't have separate friends. And I don't want to have separate friends because I just feel more confident and comfortable when I'm around you. Oh. I wanted to say something. There's a part, baby, I won't hold hands when they say.
Okay, can I just throw this in the sink?
There's a part where Dan says to Phil, thank you for being so patient. And Phil's like, yeah, no problem.
Kind of just wanted to give you time to figure out what you wanted to do.
Or thank you for being patient for so many years.
That's okay.
Which I think is so cute. But Chloe was also just like so patient with me. And
but I think it's sorry, I'll let you finish.
Well, it is different. 100% it's different. But I just made me feel like happy that I don't know, it's just nice to have someone in your life who is like so willing to wait for you to be with you. And I have that with Chloe.
Yeah, I'm pretty great. I'm the Phil.
It is different. It is different because they actually were together for 16 years.
And we were just friends.
Our story is more like Chloe was patient in the sense that she loved me and wanted to be with me as much as I wanted to be with her. And I was not comfortable with confronting the fact that I was gay at all. So I couldn't be in even a secret relationship with Chloe. I had to just pretend I wasn't interested in her that way for a very long time.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that did me less damage emotionally than it would have if we were in a secret relationship.
Yeah, because when we first got together, I first didn't want to tell anybody, and Chloe was like, like she couldn't handle it, even though it was a week.
Yeah. So, maybe I'm not like Phil Lester. I'm worse.
No, but you were still really patient.
Yeah.
Waiting to be with me.
And when you asked me if we could keep it secret, I had already told my mom. So
I was going to say, the way I pictured Dan and Phil getting together, because we obviously didn't know anything, the way I pictured happening was more of a mirror of our relationship. I pictured them meeting and making videos together, being compatible, becoming friends, becoming roommates, then falling in love, having a secret relationship. That's how I pictured it. But the reality is they were just dating the whole time.
Dan and Phil, was it always gay?
Yep. The whole time.
They were dating the whole time.
Yeah, it's true.
The whole time. It's been gay.
We weren't.
And we weren't. We were not dating the whole time.
But it was gay the whole time.
Yeah. It was gay the whole time.
Can I just say something? When I was a young whippersnapper, I wrote like 2 chapters of Dan and Phil fan fiction, probably when I was like 16, 17.
I haven't read it before.
Yeah, maybe I'll read it to Natalie live on camera. I can't remember what it's like. It's probably deeply embarrassing. But can I just tell you that I have a permit from Dan and Phil themselves telling me that fanfiction is okay. So we're good there. But in my headcanon, uninformed, I did believe that they were together right off the bat and that the leaking of the Valentine's Day video broke them up.
Well, that was your fan fiction plot.
And yes, the fanfiction plot. And then they were still living together and trying to work through things. And then eventually Phil decides he has to move out so that he can get over Dan. That's my fanfiction plot. And they did confirm that they almost broke up over it, so it's almost like
Chloe
I'm a genius.
was right. Chloe was right the whole time. I was wrong the whole time. I knew nothing, and that's on believing people's lies. You know nothing if you believe lies.
But now they're telling the truth, and we're just going to believe that.
Yeah, we're gonna believe truths now.
I just thought it was sweet when they used the word boyfriend. That's the...
I love the
sweet.
term. I love the term fartners. We're fartners with an F because we fart so much, but they're fartners.
What the frick?
Because we're vegan.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're partners with a PH. And that's just so cute. Also, can you believe the Hard Lunch podcast is coming out on Monday?
I know. We're really excited.
I hope they do Spooky Week. I love Spooky Week. I look forward to it every year. Chloe thinks they're not going to do Spooky Week. That's fine, I guess.
No, they're really busy doing this podcast thing. I don't know. Well, we'll have to see. But they have had like a huge uptick in views and subscribers. I think they're almost at 3 million now.
Oh my
They were
goodness.
stuck at 2 point something for a long time.
Wow. Stuck at 2 point something.
I know. If only we were stuck at 2 point something.
We're stuck at 11,000. Mm-hmm. Let's get up to 12,000. Come on. We can do it.
In case you've stumbled upon this video because you're actually subscribed to the channel and you want to see us, not Dan and Phil, or something else, let me just quickly give you a rundown who Dan and Phil are. Dan and
You're
Phil,
my hero.
there are 2 British YouTubers. They actually have been in love the whole time, but they were not admitting that for a very long time. Phil started posting videos in 2006, I think, and Dan started posting videos in 2009. They met in 2009, started kissing.
But no one knew.
And then they wouldn't stop kissing. No, I'm kidding.
They never stopped kissing.
No, they obviously had like some sort of dynamic that was really compelling. They became very popular. And then as soon as they became very popular, people started to dig into their personal lives, try to figure out if they were gay for each other. A lot of damning evidence that they tried to sweep under the rug because Dan was closeted, had a really homophobic childhood, a lot of trauma around being queer. So fair, totally fair.
Totally fair.
So deny, deny, deny. I'm not gay, I'm not gay, I'm not gay. 2019, he's like, I am gay, sorry. This is why I haven't told you.
A crazy revelation for me because I believed he was straight.
Yeah, and I had one of the worst takes, of course, which is I did know that. But no, I'm so I'm so happy that he came out, and that video actually means a lot to me. And Phil came out too. And in that video, he basically confirms that he and Phil are in some form of romantic
they're
relationship.
more than friends.
Or were at some point.
Yes, but didn't really confirm anything. But then they lived together, so people were like, okay, so they're like in some kind of relationship. They live together.
They bought a forever home together.
Yeah, so they're obviously some kind of partners, but they don't have a label on it. And then people were more chill. They're like, let's not label them for them.
And then Dan disappears off the face of the earth for 5 years.
Well,
and
he does his tour.
Yes, that's true, but he doesn't post anything on YouTube. And then he comes back, they do the gaming channel together.
Oh, it's amazing.
The vibes are different. The
It's
shippers aren't so insane. I think the fact that they both have come out really liberated them to a certain extent, but then they're still in the friend zone.
Something. They're still friend zoning each other on camera. And we're like, shut up. But also we're like, you do you, but also like, shut up.
It's like, don't talk about it. Why are you using the F word? It's kind of grating on my little ears.
Like, just like, stop it. And then they came out again, and they said, we are not friends, we're partners!
We've been in a relationship the whole time. And we said, that's so great that you guys can say that and
so
feel safe enough to
happy.
say it out loud and
now,
be proud.
We are so happy too. We're so happy. What an amazing day.
I know, we just get to keep learning more about their relationship, which I'm really excited about because I'm so nosy.
I know. I think that we were talking about this, like, who do we feel, like, who is our, what's it called?
Here, you can put your shirt on now.
Oh, yeah, let me put my Dan. We were talking about this the other day. We were talking about who do we feel we have a,
Parasocial relationship with? Oh, sorry.
We were like, who do we feel that we have a parasocial relationship with?
Sorry, say it again. I really want to scratch my nose.
We were like, What is going on? We were like, who do we feel we have a parasocial relationship with? Like, who do we have a parasocial relationship? Obviously, we have a parasocial relationship with Dan and Phil. It's very clear because we cannot be chill about this. Like, this is giving us so much joy. We've never met them, not even like paid to meet them. We've never met them. We've only seen them live once, just recently. And it like broke my brain. Like, I feel so connected to these people I've never met. Isn't that insane? Like, it must have been just like the formative years, right? The formative Anyway, the other person that we feel we have an emotional connection to that we've never met, do not know at all, is Mae Martin.
The Canadian
Canadian comedian. Because
they're queer.
They're queer, they're Canadian, and I think they're really funny. And every time they do something,
I want them to be successful bad.
God, I hope that goes really well for them. I'm going to watch it. Anyway, we just watched Wayward. You should watch it. Mae Martin created it. I love that person. You should also watch their comedy special. You should also watch...
We saw them live in Vancouver.
We saw them live.
Awesome.
It was amazing. We love that person. I love Mae Martin so much. For no reason. Obviously I like what they've made. But yeah, it's just... Those are the three people. Dan and Phil, Mae Martin. Cannot get enough of those guys.
I'm sure there's someone else too.
I'm sure there's someone else.
I'm not thinking of.
Like, I'm thinking like other people that I used to watch when I was a kiddo, and I really don't watch them anymore at all. Like, only Dan and Phil.
I think I used to have a bit of a parasocial relationship with Jenna Marbles and Julian Solivita.
Yes. Yeah, but it was mostly Jenna Marbles.
Yeah. I felt really tight with them, but obviously Jenna has disappeared, so.
Which is totally good on her.
That's kind of what I thought Dan and Phil were going to do.
Yeah, just stop. Yeah, but they didn't, and I'm living for it. I'm, like, so happy.
I know, and I kind of thought that them coming out like this and being really straight with it, well, being really gay with it, would be kind of their final
goodbye
thing.
Not like an ad for a podcast.
What a weird ad for a podcast.
It's the best ad for a podcast.
Anyway, no, I kind of thought that they would be like, yeah, okay, we're married. We've been gay the whole time, and now we're disappearing. Goodbye.
To live our gay lives off the internet.
We're making this documentary so that we can fund the rest of our lives and live very comfortably because we think a lot of people will watch it. Okay. Ta-ta for now and ever.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. They're still going to talk to us. That's awesome.
Well, I think they genuinely do love doing what they do.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't keep coming back to it, especially Dan. I feel like Phil's been doing it the whole time. But also, can we say, like, R.I.P. Amazing Phil? I think that channel's dead.
Okay. Well, it might not be, but yeah, I think they're probably going to focus on their couples content now.
Because Phil...
It is a couples channel. We just have to accept that.
He took Amazing Phil out of his bio on all of his social medias and put Dan and Phil instead.
This is the Tumblr arena talking. Wow.
Yeah. And Amazing Phil hasn't been posted on in many, many years.
Totally.
No, well, like a year.
But he did say...
He would come back.
He might pop in and say hello. He did say.
He did say that, but also Dan said that it was a hiatus, not he was going to leave forever, and I guess he was right, but we know in retrospect that was a lie.
It was a lie?
Yeah, because he wasn't planning on coming back.
Oh.
Anyway, I have one more piece of evidence.
Yeah?
You know, at the end screen of Dan and Phil Games videos, there used to be like both of their little icons pop up, and there would be like some sort of like pun or like amazing cheese and Dan is not on fondue or something.
That was fun.
That wasn't there on the last video.
Oh, no.
No links to their other channels. So I think that Daniel Howell and Amazing Phil, we are witnessing their death and
rebirth
of Dan and Phil together as a unit. Dan has stopped saying, listen, I'm funny all by myself. I don't need to have this double act thing to keep me going. And
he stopped doing
I'm not a ship. That's not the only thing that's funny about me. I can make it my own way. And he started to say, actually, you know what? This is fun, and we're gonna do this.
And I love that because
I too am codependent with my long-term partner.
Yeah. But codependency is bad. But what we have is like a different thing. It's like,
what is codependent?
No, it's a bad thing, I think. I don't think what we have is a bad thing.
No, what we have isn't a bad thing.
Codependent is bad because you do not have like your own interests. You don't have like your own that make you who you are. And I feel like I do have my own interests and hobbies and stuff that make me who I am individually from you. They just happen to be the same as you. Like, I didn't let go of an interest in order and pick up a new one to be with you. We've had the same interests the whole time, and now we're existing independently with the same interests next to each other, very happy.
It's true.
So I think that's the difference.
And do you, like, need to have someone who has completely different interests than you do to be happy? Like, if Natalie was watching football at all hours of the night and I was just kind of there in our studio apartment being like, well, this is loud, that wouldn't make me happier, I don't think.
Good thing I don't like football, hey? Good thing we'd rather just watch Dan and Phil compilations.
Yeah, and good thing that, like, we both like pink and green and, like, this kind of grandmother aesthetic. Because imagine if I had to look, like, at a huge
we'd have
Marvel
to, like,
poster or something.
Oh, thank goodness we don't want
an eyesore.
Posters. Ew. Yeah, it is really nice that we have all the same opinions about every single thing.
I know, and I'm sure there will come a day when we find an opinion that's different, and we do. But I just think we have the same values.
Yeah. Like, I think that everybody is telling me the truth, and I'm not going to waste my time trying to figure out if they're lying. And Chloe thinks that everybody is lying, and that she is going to think about why they're lying, maybe what she did wrong to make them lie. So that's a big difference between us.
Well, people are liars, okay? I know this because I'm a liar. I was thinking I could find my fan fiction real quick and just give you guys a taste.
Okay. I'll actually unpack.
All right.
Wait, you have it?
This was posted on December 26, 2016. All right? Maybe I don't want to say that because people might be able to find it. Okay. I actually don't. Maybe I'm going to take this offline. Dan and Phil were in love. They were so disgustingly in love in 2009. But alas, people fall out of love. AKA the Valentine's video was unprivated. And people choose to remain friends. Phil's been trying to be patient, to wait for Dan to come to his senses and realize that it doesn't matter what the stupid internet thinks. But in the end, he can't wait forever. He's almost 30 after all, and it's time for him to move on with his life and move out of the flat.
Oh my gosh. Shivers.
Yeah, guys. It's pretty... Chloe's creative writing at 16, am I right? Okay. Oh, okay. There's a lot of PHs in the notes here. This is my first fan fiction, PH capital, attempt, and I'm relatively new to the fandom, PH capital. So sorry if I get some things, everything wrong. Keep in mind that this is a work of fiction. I do not claim that anything I write has any truth to it. Also, I don't own Dan and Phil. This is just for fun. Sorry if this is Should I read any of this out loud?
I don't know. I've never read it.
I haven't read this in years, and I remember the plot. I remember the plot pretty well.
It's a pretty good plot.
Yeah, pretty compelling plotting. Okay, chapter 1, Home at Last. I feel like this is already dated. Okay, sorry, just scanning it, making sure there's nothing too nasty in it. Okay, 30 seconds. They'd have been home for 30 seconds, and Dan had already found his way into the sofa crease. His suitcase had been thrown haphazardly in the entranceway, shoes and jumper dumped on the floor on the way into the lounge.
I love that you said jumper.
It's so English. Ooh. He really must have been exhausted, as normally Dan would yell at him for making a mess. Phil wanted to tell him as much, but alas, he refrained.
Alas.
Second alas. Okay. He didn't want to disturb Dan's reunion with the sofa. Phil took his suitcase to his room, opened the door, and smiled. Happy that 2 months ago past Phil decided to clean it, so this Phil could come home to a nice, tidy room. He plopped the suitcase on his bed and pulled out his Cookie Monster pajamas.
Were you in love with me when you were writing this?
Yes.
Oh. Was it all a dynamic about us?
Well, it's obviously different because it's Dan and Phil.
I know.
I can't really remember that.
Okay. I'm just curious.
But Natalie wouldn't love me, and I loved her, so I was obviously writing from Phil's perspective. His back hurt something awful, but a transatlantic flight tended to have that effect. It wasn't because he was almost 30, of course. He made popcorn and sat on the couch next to Dan, who was engrossed in his laptop. Dan reached out a hand without once looking at Phil.
How old was Phil when you were writing this?
Like 30?
Oh, like 30, okay. Okay.
I think. 2016? Okay. Chloe's gonna...
I was wondering if your little brain would call us almost 30.
No, I think that he was about to turn 30.
Okay.
Like, I was writing this in December, and his birthday's in January. I think he was about to turn 30, for real.
Okay.
Without once looking at Phil, grabbed a handful of popcorn and shoved it in his mouth. The room looked nearly the same as it had before they left, though it was colder and dustier, vacant. It was amazing how quickly a flat could lose its homey vibe, could lose the appearance of being lived in. They finished the popcorn without uttering a single word to one another. Then Dan closed his laptop and looked at Phil.
What does Dan say?
I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to do a British accent right
You
now.
gotta do a British accent. What's he gonna say? I'm so scared.
He's going to say, Christ, there's nothing on Tumblr that I have yet to see 3 times already. All I wanted was an escape into fandoms, but I've seen it all, he sighed. Do you want to watch an anime? Their first words shared in this flat that they left. And Phil knew he had to tell him. Knew he'd been putting it off for weeks. Months, actually. No, over a year now. Since before the tour started. Worried that it would interfere with rehearsals. Then worried that it would affect their performances. Worried it would stress Dan out, with them being in such close quarters on the bus and everything. But Phil couldn't keep this up. Dan had to know. He deserved to know. Phil's heart was beating very quickly, and he was all too aware of his breathing. Trying to keep it normal, trying not to let on that anything was wrong. He could do this. He could tell Dan anything. Phil? Dan said. Face said, sorry. Snapping his fingers in front of his friend's face. I asked if you wanted to watch an anime. Phil cleared his throat. Yeah, okay, an anime sounds good. Dan gave him a strange look, but put on the new episode of Yuri on Ice all the same. I watched that under their recommendation. Thank you, Dan and Phil.
Listen to your mummy's story.
Phil, however, couldn't pay attention. He was too busy thinking about how he had to tell Dan. He had to. Phil was ready. Phil had put this off long enough already. The episode ended, and Phil hadn't made sense of a single second of it. He didn't care. Dan, the man in question, was curled in a blanket, his knees tucked into his chest, chin resting on top of them. He looked so small, despite his rather alarming height. So vulnerable. Don't you think? Dan waited, brows raised, more by the second. Phil's heartbeat thundered in his ears. I'm glad we're home, he said, and mentally kicked himself. Coward! Phil Lester, you are a freaking coward! Dan smiled, his dimple appearing for an instant. Me too. I bet I'll miss the tour eventually, but I'm really excited to sleep in my own bed. Speaking of which, then he got up, stretched his arms over his head. Phil did not look to see if he could catch a glimpse of his stomach. I'm off to bed. Good night, Phil. And then he left, and Phil could only call good night after him and promise that tomorrow he'd tell him.
Damn. That was intense.
That was pretty intense.
That was really
squad.
That was really intense. Well, now you know how crazy we are.
But I think that only tells you how crazy I am.
Babe, I just compared them telling us they've been in a relationship to our wedding day.
Baby, do you need to be picked up?
Yeah, I think baby needs to be picked up. I think that we should say goodbye. Unless there's anything else someone wants to add. Baby, what do you think of Dan and Phil? She says, if they ever come near me, I would eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would. Funny story about Beverly. When we have people over, she attacks them and hurts them.
That's why we can't have friends.
So we can't actually have friends because we have a problem child. Though we've decided that we're going to give her medication next time we have a gathering to keep everybody safe. And she's obviously doing it because she's scared of them.
She's so anxious. She's so high-strung. Are you high-strung?
So anxious. She's so high-strung. Can you believe that a creature that hurts all of our friends can, be so nice to us?
Sometimes she's mean, though.
No, she's only ever nice.
All right, I'll put you down, baby. Okay, well, let me know if you want to hear the rest of my fan fiction. There's how many chapters did I end up writing? That was half of one chapter.
I want to keep hearing it personally. I think it's really well written.
Oh, there are 4 chapters. It's unfinished, so it'll be a lunch bag letdown, of course. And by the way, I do have a permit. I do have a permit for writing fan fiction. They said it's okay. So
RPF is good. RPF is good, as long as you don't claim any reality to it.
Yeah. And that's on creative writing. And that's on being literally insane. I just want to say congratulations to Dan and Phil. You really did it to him. I just hope that the response is
everything you wish for.
And no one says anything
no
too
one has
rude to
anything
you.
mean to say.
You know, what can I say?
Yeah, what can you say? And what can Daniel Howell say?
Yeah. Okay. Well, until next time, team. We post every Sunday, mostly. Like and subscribe.
Oh wait, we have a song. I was thinking we could change the genre of the song.
You know what genre is?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then.
Every night, every time.
Okay, so it was a rap last time?
It was a rap last time, so this time it can be like a little jazzy. Do.
Does that mean I'm supposed to sing it?
No, match me. Do. Okay, you just do it. I'll sing.
Okay.
Come on, do the bubbas. Do the bubbas. Come on. Thanks for watching me and my wife on this Sunday day in the life. I hope you liked it very much and that you comment and such. Woo!
Jazz hands. Okay, love you, bye.